republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening and welcome to the September 9th, 2025 regular meeting of the Jackson Township Council. Pursuant to the provisions of the New Jersey Open Publics Meeting Act, adequate notice of this meeting was properly provided by transmitting a notice of the meeting on January 28, 2025 for publication. Notice of this meeting of the Township Council is posted in the corridor of the Municipal building and in the office of the Municipal Clerk. We will begin with a roll call. Councilman Borelli?
Here.
Councilman Bressi? Present. Councilman Palmieri?
Present.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Here.
Council President Kuhn.
Here.
Also present this evening is Township Attorney, Mr. McGuckin, Township Administrator, Mr. Phillips, Deputy Clerk, Jen Corelli, and myself, Municipal Clerk Martin. We will now hear opening comments from the Township Council, starting with Council President Kuhn.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Good evening. First, I want to congratulate our 12 of you for being here, and thank you for being here tonight. I wanted to take a moment to address something that is critical to the safety and well-being of our community: the need for a true collaboration among all of our first responders. Working together effectively starts at the top with leadership. It starts with the Chief of the Jackson Township Police and the Chief and Captains of our first responders, including EMS, Fire, and Hadzula. While leadership sets the tone, when it prioritizes proper training on process and procedures, it creates a culture where teams can respond efficiently and confidently, even in the highest emotion, most stressful situations. Unfortunately, our township is experiencing these high-stress events daily. Accidents are at an all-time high. Our community is growing rapidly. It is imperative that we implement universal training, not as a reaction to incidents, but as a proactive measure that ensures every responder knows their role and how to work seamlessly with others. Personally, I believe this training should have been happening over the past 5 years. Regrettably, that is not the case under our Jackson Police Department's current leadership. Too often, it takes a public newspaper article highlighting an officer or a responder to bring attention to the gaps in coordinating that should not be the standard. True leaders bring everyone to the table before a crisis occurs. My hope is that our current situation becomes a turning point. I hope it brings us to a place where all first responders, police, Fire, EMS, and Hadzul can work together effectively, responding to every call and provide the best care to the members of our community. Because when it comes to saving a life, there is no distinction of religion, background, or title. We all serve the same mission. Together, with proper leadership, training, and communication, we can create a safer, stronger Jackson Township for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council Vice President Bernstein.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Clerk. I just want to echo, unfortunately, as I'm sure everyone knows, there was a tragic shooting this week in Jackson. A special thank you to our PD, our Jackson EMS, and our Hatsala, and our fire department. Everyone responded and worked, unfortunately, as a team to take care of business over there. And our condolences to the family and to the entire neighborhood over there. I just want to echo really what Council President just said. It's really a call for our leadership in administration, council, and through our local police department and all of our volunteers in town for them to sit down together, work together, and ensure that we are able to respond together as one team, as one Jackson, because that's really what we are here in Jackson. A quick update. I had opportunity in speaking. I guess I don't want to steal anyone's thunder. I had an update on ROVA, but I'm not the liaison. I just don't want to steal. I know there was a ROVA meeting. Mr. Brelli, do you mind if I just give an update quickly on ROVA?
With ROVA, I wasn't there at the meeting.
Okay, so I just want.
I haven't been to a ROVA meeting in ages. We haven't had one.
Okay, so fine. I didn't want to steal. So I called the engineer. My understanding was there was a meeting last week where the engineer presented plans. I know last couple months ago, this council unanimously moved forward on ROVA, and they had a meeting where plans were presented, and unanimously, I think the entire ROVA committee voted to accept those plans. And the message I got today from the engineer about an hour ago is that the entire team unanimously agreed on the site plan. The draft of the architectural plans will be available next week. And hopefully they'll be able to submit that to the governing body to move that forward. So I really appreciate the hard work of A, our engineers from Morgan, but B, the volunteer residents who put the time and effort in, came in, I think it was on a Friday. They had a team meeting additionally with former Councilman Steve Chisholm. Also, just want to take a moment and thank our Board of Ed. As the school year begins, like we said before, we need to make sure we have a collaborative effort between all of our various emergency services. I know they are working tirelessly to try to make busing as seamless as possible. It's not always so easy, but I know that many residents, I've been copied on emails. I know Council President, I know Mr. Palmieri, you've been copied on emails where residents have reached out complaining about their bus stops, and they've been extremely proactive in responding right away, making sure that to the best of their ability that they're able to move any unsafe bus stops off of those unsafe spots into a safer place. Lastly, it's the time of the year again. It is September 11th week. I don't know where everyone was. I actually was reminiscing today that my children, and I have staff members now where I work who were not born in September 11th. I remember where I was. I was in school. I'll never forget that day. And everyone should take a moment on September 11th, commemorate that day. Say your prayers, and let's not forget all of our local and people throughout the country who served and continue to serve on the war against terror. And may God bless America. Thank you.
Councilman Borelli.
Thank you, Clerk Martin. That's really good news to hear from Council Vice President regarding Rova Park. I know.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, here we go again.
Just turn it on.
My most popular, my favorite president growing up. Here we go again, Ronald Reagan. No, that's really good news to hear, Council Vice President, regarding Bernstein, regarding Rova Park. I knew the engineers were, and it was in their, the plans were in their hands and all that. So that's really good to hear that that's moving ahead and forward. And I'm glad for the committee as well that worked really hard on it. Congratulations to the Holbrook 12U Little Leaguers that are here and their coaches and parents. You kids put Jackson on the map and made us all proud. Keep up the great work on the field and in the classroom, and don't stop being champions. Our annual Jackson Day is finally here on Sunday, September 14th. It's in our town's largest park, Johnson Memorial Park, from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. It looks like so far we're going to have really good weather for it. The rain date is September 21st, but I don't think we're going to need it. We had a huge turnout last year with over 11,000 patrons, and are expecting an even bigger turnout this year with much to do from an ATV riding park for kids, monster truck, the king of roller coasters, King de Ka, car photo op, and a drone show, bands and many vendors and more. And hope to see you there. In closing, I know Council Vice President Bernstein brought up the tragedy that occurred over the weekend in the Paragon community in our town. My thoughts and prayers are with the residents' family. Take care and have a good evening.
Councilman Bressi.
Thank you. First, my condolences to the family that was involved in that shooting, and a great thank you, as always, to our first responders police department for the job they did. It was outstanding. I got to speak to Mark Jenke again, the Ocean County engineer. He's having a hard time with the utility companies trying to get answers on these detours and getting work done. He has been following up. As you can see, if you pass Diamond Road, every day there's people out there pulling wires and doing wires and getting set to put the traffic light in. He is working with the utility company to get the poles moved in that detour so they can get moving. It's not the county fault, but the utility companies just aren't cooperating. We also mentioned September 11th. Days like that can't be forgotten. We have to move on, but to be remembered is very important. They remember it, think about it, and just sit down for a couple of moments and reflect on it. Especially in this area, there are a lot of people lost. I know at the facility I was working at, there are 3 people lost in that facility in that happening. So it's something that we can't just dwell on, but we do have to remember it. And we have to remember what caused it and how we prevent it. And we have to stay together as a country to make sure it doesn't happen again. But most of all, congratulations to Holbrook Little League. You did a great job. The coaches, the parents, everybody. It's how you do it. You put 100% into it all the time, and you'll come out on top. Good job. Have a nice night.
Councilman Palmieri.
Thank you. I would like to start by just congratulating our champions. You've earned that title. You are champions. You made Jackson proud. You are champions, so just enjoy the moment because you worked so hard for it. So congratulations. Tonight, you'll see the municipal budget is up for review and a vote. This year's budget process took longer than usual, but for the first time in over a decade, it was carefully reviewed line by line by many members of this council. Personally, I held 3 separate meetings with both our CFO and our auditor. Looking ahead, I believe the budget process will become much more efficient. With Business Administrator Phillips now leading the way and Ms. Marlin serving as our new CFO, I'm confident future budgets will come together more quickly, allowing this council to review and adopt them in a better time frame. You'll also notice some important changes in this budget. Our Department of Public Works requires additional support and resources, which this budget will provide. And as everyone is aware, our Jackson Board of Education has been severely impacted by Governor Murphy's S2 funding cuts, losing more than 54% of its state aid over the last 8 years. These cuts have placed a tremendous strain on our schools. While this municipal budget cannot undo all the damage inflicted on our district, it does provide some relief. Specifically, the township will fund 2 school resource officers, saving the district $235,000. That money can now be repurposed where it truly belongs, back in the classroom supporting our students' education. Thorough work takes time. Yes, this budget was delayed, but that delay was the result of diligence and careful review. For the first time in years, this council has shown real interest in the details. The days of simply rubber stamping a budget are over. This council is committed to doing the work line by line to ensure fiscal responsibility and accountability for the people of Jackson. So thank you.
Clerk, Council President, could I just add
Absolutely.
2 things?
Yes.
Mr. McGuckin notified Council President and myself today, and I just want to, I guess, get a quick update for the public. The town had done a couple years ago a land swap, and I know we had gone to court, and the judge had ruled against part of the township. The town then took a legal maneuver, and could we just give a quick update? I think it's an important update for the public.
Sure. The township actually won the case at trial. Subsequent to that, there was an appeal to the appellate division. The appellate division reversed, ruled against the township. I'm pleased to announce that today, the New Jersey Supreme Court agreed to hear our appeal, indicating that we believe the appellate division was incorrect. And we'll have a hearing before the New Jersey Supreme Court at some point in the near future.
Thank you. And
Thank you.
just for the public, what percentage of cases are actually accepted by the Supreme Court usually?
Usually 12 to 15%.
Okay, thank you. Also, I just want to update, I know council had been circulating, we had put together an ordinance a couple months ago about landlords, and now that we are in the budget process, we're able to move on to the next step. I think Council President has circulated a draft among some of our colleagues to start creating those positions, so comes January, all the various enforcement mechanisms are there. And we definitely solicit feedback if any residents have any feedback as we put together the ordinance, hopefully for our next meeting.
You're talking about the new
Yeah.
hires? So we're looking right now, so you'll see on the League of Municipalities, where I had a lot to say, so I didn't want to, I knew with the kids here. But we are looking for a qualified purchase agent. We're looking for we are losing Director Candido himself, but we are not losing the position for a Director of Public Safety. Again, Director Candido your thank you is going to come after the children leave. We're looking for a police department IT. Again, our IT guy is absolutely amazing, but we need officers, we need sergeants. He's a sergeant now, and we need him on in the police department, and we want to get the police department an IT guy. So we do have that role open. DPW is hiring, I believe, 6 employees. He's looking for people with a CDL and labor workers. To have both to do labor and a CDL would be ideal. And then the Bureau of Rental Housing, that would be the applicant will have to have the same qualifications as the code enforcement department has. They will just not be in code enforcement, which we'll get over when we go into the budget. That is a whole new column and ordinance that we are creating tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
The next item on tonight's meeting agenda is an update from the Department of Public Works, Mr. Sean Belinsky. Council President Kuhn?
Yes, thank you, Madam Clerk. Our streets and roads crew are actively conducting seasonal trimming along township roadways. That is trimming of the trees that our DPW does, with the focus of clearing overgrown and intersection dressing, low-hanging limbs. Favorable weather in recent weeks has allowed us to catch up on some town-wide grass mowing and performance necessary maintenance on dirt roads using the road grader. I don't know what that is, but they're getting addressed. I will continue to deploy 2 street sweepers. We'll let you know when they're in your area, so you could hopefully move your car from the road so that they could properly do their job. And then in preparation for this year's leaf collection, crews are working to clear the compost site. Material is being hauled daily, and we aim to have the site fully cleared by the end of October. Improvements at our senior center are progressing. We've been working closely with Kate on a daily basis to address the contractor's punch list and resolve minor issues that are arising. Thank you.
The next item for tonight's meeting is the proclamation portion of the agenda. Council President Kuhn?
Okay, all right. So tonight we gather for a truly special occasion to recognize and celebrate a team that has made Jackson Township history. Please join me in congratulating our 12U Little League state champions. This team has achieved something extraordinary. They didn't just win games. They dominated, going on an incredible run of 15 straight victories, the first time in our township's history that any team has accomplished such a streak. Their journey was remarkable. They went undefeated in districts with 2 dramatic wins over our rivals from Toms River. They went undefeated in sections, including 2 victories against Nottingham on their own home field. And then they went undefeated in the state championship, becoming the first Little League team in Jackson Township to win 15 straight games and capture the state title. In total, they finished the season with an impressive 15-2 record. Even in defeat, they showed heart and resilience, taking Connecticut to extra innings twice in the regional tournament. And as we all know, the same Connecticut team went to finish 3rd in the entire Little League World Series. To our players, you've shown us all the power of teamwork, determination, and pride in wearing the Jackson name across your jersey. To the coaches and the families, thank you for your support, dedication, and leadership in guiding this team to greatness. On behalf of Jackson Township, we could not be prouder. You have made history, you've inspired younger players, and you have brought our community together in celebration. Let us all give one more round of applause to our 12U undefeated state championships as they come up and collect their certifications or certificates. So I'm going to ask the manager to come and give them out with me, if you don't mind. Thank you.
Stay up here.
Congratulations.
Yes. Ryan Blackburn. Cooper Brown. LJ Brown. Dominic Calise. Yeah, you got some issues. Deacon Flanagan is not here today. Nico Grivats. Jake Henry. Gavin Hobbs. Chase Messer. Pablo Morales. And last player but not least, Gavin Reeves.
Congratulations.
Got to have the coaches come up here. I do not need to announce myself.
Congratulations.
Jason Ballard.
Congratulations. Thank you.
And Rob Blackburn.
Thank you. If council, we're just going to, thank you so much, guys. Again, I'm going to shake all your hands just because I just think it's nice to do. I got you. I want to see you guys, what you do next year. You really did amazing. I actually have the all gamer or whatever it is, so I did watch you. Council's going to come down. If you want to just merge in so we could do a big picture. Yeah.
Just tie it back in.
You're welcome to go. We will not be offended. The reserved seats are now open. Thank you.
Oh.
Christian, while the kids are going out, we're still live, right? Okay, can you put up the traffic while they're going out? I just want to go, because I didn't do it in my opening statement, but I want to go to, not that, okay. No, do you have the one that has the email on it that we updated? The traffic safety email? Remember I brought it in, I walked it into your office? That's okay. I just wanted to put it up so that that the residents of Jackson can see it. Huh? That's okay. All right, so we get a lot of complaints. We have a traffic safety email, which is trafficsafety@jacksontwpnewjersey.net, just while the kids are going out. NJ, yes. Thank you, Christian. So if you have anything, we're having a lot of problems. We've had people coming into my office. We've all talked about it with buses. The public and the private schools answered every single complaint that we've had. We really have been working. It's been a couple-year relationship that we've been building. Boots on the ground was started, but this year I think was this seamless. I had parents coming into my office. We did a resolution. It's resolution 141-2025, and we had a meeting in this building right here with about 25 of the different bus owning partnerships.
Vendors.
Vendors. I apologize. Thank you. And we did kind of a gentleman's handshake, and they really have been honoring that. We had a couple complaints, moved them right away. We had a couple complaints with the public schools. Councilman Palmieri, our liaison to the Board of Education, took care of it. So I just want to thank everyone. We did not have the craziness that we had for the last 2 years when I was boots on the ground with Sergeant Hemba when he was in traffic safety, and it was scary. I haven't been out there as much as I wanted to, but I wanted to again thank, I put that on, thank you on our director that's back there, Candido, as well as our police department and everybody that is boots on the ground that works those early mornings when you see that's keeping, kids and the residents of Jackson safe. So I just wanted to say thank you. Again, any complaints, please send it to that email. There's 7 or 8 of us on there. I am one of the people, Director Candido as well. And if it's not applicable to something that the police department, it needs to go to another department, I always forward it out. But I just wanted to again say thank you to everybody that's being courteous out there, not parking in front of stop signs, not parking on the wrong side of the road, and being courteous to your neighbors. It really is gonna, it helps the town a lot, and it helps everybody get along. So thank you. Budget? No, ordinances. Sorry.
Yeah. The next item of business is the second reading and public hearing of ordinance 2025-32, amending the Township Code of the Township of Jackson so as to amend Chapter 3 entitled Administration, so as to revise Article 9 entitled Department of Public Safety. At this time, if any member of the public has any comments to make, please address the council at the microphone and state your name and address clearly for the record. You'll have 5 minutes and may only speak once. May I have a motion to open public comment?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Seeing no one come forward, make a motion to close public comment.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-32?
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bressi?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Kuhn, excuse me.
That's okay.
Yes, Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes.
Council President Kuhn?
Yes.
Excuse me. The next item of business is the first reading and introduction of ordinance 2025-33, authorizing the purchase of certain real property known as Lot 2, Block 12913, AKA 39 Georgian Boulevard, pursuant to NJSA 48125. Council President Kuhn, are there any comments on the ordinance 2025-33?
Yes. So this ordinance, if adopted, would authorize the township to purchase this property from the current property owner for its fair market value. The property has been the subject of repeated flooding, resulting in a number of claims against the township. The seller has agreed to convey the property to the township for the amount identified herein. The purchase of the same would allow the township to correct, improve, and maintain a better drainage system in this area. This poor woman has been going through this for 3 years. We had meeting of the minds, and we said, we brought it to council, I brought it to executive with everybody to purchase this. We're going to preserve the land, so we're going to have open space. We're going to fix our drainage problems, and if you have a drainage problem, you know what I'm talking about. You go to your insurance, it's an act of God. It's a bad situation to be in, and we're going to put a park on it. That is the future of this area, and it's a great thing, and I think it's going to be great for the neighborhood because there's no parks in this neighborhood. So that is the introduction.
Are there any questions or comments by the Township Council? May I have a motion to approve ordinance 2025-33 on the first reading and introduction to authorize the notice of the public hearing to be held on September 25th, 2025?
Motion. Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bressi?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes, and just want to add a special thank you to Council President. I know she worked diligently, meeting with the resident, meeting with the engineers, meeting with our legal counsel, making sure we could use open space. And I do think this accomplishes many things at one, and it gives hopefully a neighborhood a little bit of open space and hopefully a little bit more of a park. So yes.
Thank you.
Council President Kuhn?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion approved. The next item of business is the first reading and introduction of ordinance 2025-34, amending Chapter 111 of the Township Code, bicycles. Council President Kuhn, are there any comments on ordinance 2025-34?
Yes, thank you, Madam Clerk. The Township of Jackson amending Chapter 111 entitled Bicycles, Article 1 entitled Low-Speed Electric Bicycles and Motorized Bicycles. To clarify, the definition of low-speed electric bicycle, motorized bicycle, and low-speed electric scooters would not allow these devices to be used to increase immediate mobility of individuals with the limit or no ambulation abilities? What does that mean? I just want to make sure I understand it first before I read into the record.
So the motorized wheelchairs.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's what I thought, but because we were talking about bikes. Okay. Among other important clarification, the amendment described the safe operation of low-speed electric bicycles, motorized bicycles, and low-speed electric scooters within the township, where the same shall be prohibited. The amendment also clarifies registration requirements for motorized bicycles. So you have to get them registered, guys. You have to wear your helmet and stay out of Romeo's parking lot doing wheelies. when there's kids trying to go to school on and off the bus at the daycare. It's really not nice. I'm sorry. And stay off of County Line Road, pulling your friends with no helmets on. Stay off of Bennett's Mills Road, pulling your friends with no helmets on. Stay off of South New Prospect Road, pulling your friends with no helmets on. Put your helmets on. Stay off your bikes. I've talked to my friends and told them we're outlawing them, so don't spend the money on the bike. Put your helmet on. If you're going your neighborhood, fine. You're going through one of the Brookwoods, you're going through Flair, you're going through whatever, you're going over in Cassville, where, Ollie Burke or something like that, Miller Road. They're not that crazy roads. Don't go down County Line Road on a motorized bike with no helmet. I don't care if you're 40 or if you're 14. It's not a smart thing to do. Sorry, not sorry.
Are there any questions or comments by the Township Council?
We heard enough.
No.
We heard enough.
I don't.
May I have a motion to approve ordinance 2025-34 on first reading and introduction to authorize the notice of the public hearing to be held on September 25th, 2025?
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bressi?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes.
Council President Kuhn?
Yes.
Thank you. The next item of business is the first reading and introduction of ordinance 2025-35, amending Chapter 244 Land Use and Development Regulation of the Code. Council President Kuhn, are there any comments on ordinance 2025-35?
Yes. This amendment will require at least 20% of all units in affordable housing overlay zones to be set aside as low and moderate income units.
Yeah, I'll just
Councilman?
add that this is to really to bring all the ordinances that were passed by the last meeting in par with each other. And I think it's important to stress that if you make an agreement with the township, please keep your word and keep your agreement and don't turn around and say one thing and do it differently. This council doesn't stand for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments by the Township Council? May I have a motion to approve ordinance 2025-35 on first reading and introduction to authorize the notice of the public hearing?
Motion?
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
No.
Councilman Bressi?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes.
Council President Kuhn?
Yes. Councilman, I just want to confirm, you read the ordinance, right?
I did.
Okay, I just want to make sure that you read it. Okay, thank you. That's on the record, correct? Okay.
Thank you. Motion approved. The next item of business is the payment authorization of bills and claims. I would like to note the following abstentions. Abstentions include Councilman Borelli, AET01, DEL01, NJD04, NJD13, NJS04, and STA76, and Council President Kuhn's abstention, RCS02. Council President Kuhn, are there any questions or comments by the Township Council?
No, I just had to read, yes, I had to read into the record. When I was reviewing the bill list, we had from our appraiser, Mr. Mancini, he had an invoice that I personally thought it was something that was submitted. We were going to try to preserve land on West Commodore. And when we submitted it and our attorney did his due diligence, it had a reverter on it, which means they couldn't sell it. We couldn't preserve it. It's already is township. In essence, it already is township property. So we're starting to do that. So when we got the bill and we were charged $1,619.75 for a canceled appraisal, that raised a red flag to me. So I reached out to the professional with the assistance of administration and the mayor and said, in the exact words of the mayor, he said, I'm going to ask him to sharpen his pencil on that one. And he sharpened his pencil. First he said no, and then I said, then you will not get paid. We will remove it from the list until we can come to some kind of agreement, because I don't care if it's $1 or it's whatever, but I know what an appraisal costs, and it is not $1,619.75. So we got a credit and it's back on, and he took off, I think, $400 and something. I'll take it. Not going to be.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He brought it down to $1,214.81. Listen, he sharpened his pencil. Not sharp enough, in my opinion, but it's sharpened.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the bills list and claims with the abstentions noted and the supplement explained by Council President Kuhn?
Motion?
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes, with those exceptions.
Councilman Bressy?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes, and I really want to thank all of my colleagues for reading through these bills. It's definitely a new thing that hasn't always occurred from coming to these meetings for close to 10 years. So having colleagues who read through the bills and notice things that just we sometimes need a question and ask, I think is in the best interest of Jackson. So yes.
Council President Kuhn?
And there was another question that the CFO, our new CFO, answered because it said the Star Ledger on there. And I'm like, that doesn't exist. I know that they were done in February. We're not paying that bill. And I go, she's sitting right there. I get approval from administration. I go there with the bill list and the clerk highlights small ones. And I'm like, We go through them and they passed. It just happens to be a Dropbox that they pick Star Ledger still. And we were like, okay, done. Took that off the list. So it does work if you do it. And it's a little time, but at the end of the day, every penny counts, right? So yes, thank you.
Motion approved. Thank you. The next item of business is the municipal budget. Council President Kuhn?
Yes. So I want to thank you all. I know that this is our new CFO has been here. She started in April. I did the timeline last council meeting, so I'm not going to bore you with that. And Councilman Palmieri, Palmieri. I'm like Borelli, Palmieri, gave the reason why we're here at a little later date. I'm very happy. I'm very proud of this presentation. It's amazing. It's going to be up on the board soon. Thank you guys. You guys are a team that work very, very well together. You all complement each other very well, and it's great to have you in our corner when we do have the tough questions and have somebody that we can go and answer, even as council, because I put you guys through the ringer as well as Councilman Bernstein and Palmieri. I mean, we didn't stop. You know, we were finding, and I know there was questions regarding the 1.4, yes, and it was reallocated, and it came out to $668,000 that has gone back to all of our departments, going to our dog park, going to everything. So, no, it's not in my pocket, guys. So, I mean, I'm sorry. I know you guys want to think that somehow it miraculously, was printed and went there. It didn't. But our CFO is going to come up with her team and is going to go over the budget, and I think it's a great presentation. So, we're looking forward to it. So, thank you.
Put in the budget for more mics. You might need to put in the
Hello?
budget for new mics.
Can I pick it up? Okay. Good evening, Council, Administration, and residents. Thank you for having us here tonight. My name is Stephanie Marlin. I am the CFO, and I am accompanied by our auditors, Matt Holman and Anthony Menino. We will be walking you through the key points of our budget this evening. Next slide. We'd like to start talking about the reassessment. Just to keep in mind, this does not raise taxes, the total tax. The town only collects what is needed in order for it to pay its bills. The goal of the reassessment is fair share based on the true value of the homes. So let's talk about why. Why did the township do the reassessment? We were ordered by the county of Ocean County Authority to do the reassessment. Our ratio reached 85% average assessed value, which is basically how close our assessed values are to the actual market value. Jackson was below 70% in 2023, and Jackson has been on the border since 2020. So it has come to the time that they ordered the reassessment to be done. Next slide. How are taxpayers impacted? The 1/3 rule applies here. So about 1/3 of properties go up, approximately 1/3 go down, and approximately 1/3 stay about the same. So if your property rose more than the town's average, your taxes may go up. If your property rose less than the town's average, your taxes may go down or stay the same. Next slide. The tax calculation is a very important section for us to go over. We start on the very left side column with the total expenditures. This is what it costs to run the town. Then we subtract the anticipated revenues. This is how the town takes in money from state aid, fees, grants, etc. What's left there is the tax levy. This is the amount that has to be raised by property taxes. And finally, we take that tax levy number and we divide that by the total ratables to get the tax rate. So in comparison, looking at this chart that's up on the board right now, the expenses are down slightly from 2024. The levy is very similar. That's what we need to raise in taxes. The ratables almost doubled, which you can see made the tax rate almost cut in half. The town isn't collecting more tax dollars overall. The reassessment simply spreads the same levy across higher rateable values, so the tax rate went down. Next slide. The local purpose tax levy. Local purpose tax levy is up slightly, about 1.87%, but the rate is down nearly 50% because of that reassessment. The open space tax is a flat 0.03 rate, and it is not adjusted for the reassessment. So the total local rate was 0.529. It is down to 0.284.
I just want to just make sure on that open space.
Yep.
That was on a referendum and cannot be changed. I just want to make sure everybody understands. Okay, just so that's clear, that's where that number, because that
Council
is.
President, I just want to elaborate. That referendum was something that the residents of Jackson voted on in
Yeah.
what year?
I don't know what year. I think it was 2020.
Councilman
you
Borelli.
Yeah, 2020.
It was
It was a
2020.
2020 referendum,
So that was,
which passed overwhelmingly.
yeah. So
Right.
that's something that we can't change. So I just want to be clear on that.
So that stays at the 0.03 rate.
Correct.
Next slide. This slide is a comparison between the average home in 2024 versus the average home in 2025. So you can see in 2024, the average home was $332,000. With the reassessment, the average home is $652,000. So overall, the average homeowner is going to see a slight increase in local purpose tax only of about $1. So the reassessment didn't increase what the town collects, it just redistributed the burden fairly. Next slide. And this one here is shows the distribution of the tax levy over the past 6 years. It's a snapshot, and you can see overall it increased approximately 2% each year. And this is just for Jackson. Next slide. This is a visual of where your taxes go. You can see here by the biggest portion, the blue section is 54.5% is going to the school district, followed by the medium, I call it the medium blue section down there on the bottom. This is 20.8%, and that is sent to the county. Then we have the yellow section, which is 18.6%, and that is your local municipal portion. Our fire districts come in at 5%, that's the dark blue section. And finally, our open space is represented by the orange section, which is 1.1%. Next slide. This one's really, really hard to read, even in front of us. I was hoping it'd be a little easier up there, but it's not. This one shows us where the revenues come from. Surplus, local revenues, state aid, grants, delinquent taxes, and local tax versus where the appropriations are spent. Salary and wages, operating expenses such as electricity, office supplies, and postage. Our statutory expenses such as pension, healthcare, etc., our debt service, and our reserve for uncollected taxes. Next slide. I'm going to turn this section over to our auditors to cover the capital budget.
Thank you. Great job.
Hello, my name is Anthony Menino, as Stephanie stated earlier. I'm a director at Holman Frey Allison, the auditing firm. So I'm going to go over the capital budget a little bit. So the capital budget that's in the municipal budget is required every year to be submitted to the DCA along with the municipal budget. Jackson is required to submit a 6-year capital budget The rule is that if you have over 10,000 population, you have to do a 6-year budget projection. This budget, the capital budget, could include roads, police, vehicles, equipment improvements. Essentially, the rule with the state is that any kind of capital project has to have at least a 5-year useful life. So generally, there is some exceptions to the rule, as we all know, that the state sometimes passes. So the other thing to keep in mind is the capital budget that's in the budget is only a plan. It's an estimation of what the municipality wants to essentially go out and do within the community, improvements, purchases, things like that. Anytime that a capital ordinance or a bond ordinance is done, that automatically amends this capital program and capital budget.
Can I just so that's clarity, because there's been a lot of confusion in regards to the 1.4, and this is where it came from. So I just want to, because I just listened, I just want to make sure that there's clarity. So these bond ordinances were created for, like you said, for a plan, right? For our departments. And say the department planned on doing a road improvement or buying vehicles or something with the 5-year plus. And we did an ordinance or bond for $800,000, and they only used in that year $400,000, and then we've kind of never went back to it. And 2009 got away from us, and we come back and we're going through with the new CFO, and we pulled it and we found that $400,000. Then we go to the next year with the bond ordinances. That was the plan, and there was extra money. When you accumulate that all together, that's where we got the monies that we had found, correct?
Yes, yep.
Thank you.
That
I
money
just wanted
was-
to get that on the record so that everybody had clarity, because I know it sounds weird. Like, how do you just find this? This is the section in the portion of the budget where I and council found it, going through the budget and reading it and meeting with them and saying, what is this? And that's where that question. So I just wanted to make sure there's clarity so everybody understood, because it does sound a little crazy when, you just find, but this is what will make it sense. So I apologize. Thank you.
Nope.
Please continue.
I will say that is an important part of the capital entire ecosystem, is it needs to be reviewed and evaluated every couple of years,
Yeah.
if not every year. So I will say that's something that not every municipality does, unfortunately.
So that's if I can
This
just
one
interrupt for a
does.
second. When was the last time from?
It was 2009. I found one from 2009. So that guy can answer that for you.
Okay.
So that's just going to say the council, I just want to say,
So that's the last time that section of the budget was properly reviewed.
and it's not your fault. It would be
Yeah.
on us. We're the,
Yeah, it's
we're
our
the-
job.
It's our job. So I'm happy of our council that we found it, and I'm very proud of that. And I'm very proud of this budget. So please, thank you.
Next slide. Next slide again. So, like I said, this is the plan that is in place right now, that will be and could be adjusted by any kind of capital and bond ordinances. The capital budget is essentially broken down into 3 separate sections. The first section, we have to go through and look and see what kind of current year action items that the municipality wants to undertake. That could, in this case, include a lot of roadway repairs, drainage, and a couple equipment purchases that could be undertaken by various departments. Now, these current action items, they could be funded multiple ways. Capital improvement fund in the budget, you allocate money for down payments, grants, and debt authorization. And as we see here, there are some grants that have been contemplated and could possibly factor in to reduce possible costs of issuance for debt and things like that.
Okay.
Next slide. The second section that we're required to submit and project out is the next 5 years. So we looked at 2025 just before. Now we're looking at the next 5 years after that. So from 2025 through 2029. Again, we allocate expenditures across certain timeframes, certain years. And as we know, this is just an estimate. We don't know if the work's going to be done sooner or quicker. We're just projecting out what the actual companies that are doing the work, or if possibly DPW is doing the work in-house, that kind of estimations gained from their expertise. Next slide. And then finally, the last section we submit is similar to the first section, but the subsequent 5 years that we need to do, we need to look at how are we going to fund the future projects, 2026 through 2029. So on here, we could, again, same thing. We have grants that are factored in that could reduce debt costs, bonds and notes that we may issue down the future. And then, of course, an appropriation in the municipal budget from the capital improvement plan fund. And then finally, I want to talk a little bit about debt capacity. Next slide. So debt capacity, I want to talk a little bit about. The municipality of Jackson has 3-year equalization value of $11.49 billion. Essentially what that's saying is the average of the last 3 years, how much was the municipality worth? And in this case, these numbers were all provided to us by the state of New Jersey. It was $11.49 billion. The maximum allowable debt that you're allowed to carry is $402 million per statute. That's just 3.5% of your equalized valuation basis. So you're allowed to go up to $402 million. At the end of 2024, you were at $23.5 million. So you have a remaining debt capacity of $378 million. Now, I'm not saying to go out and issue that right now. I'm just
Yeah, I'm like, we are not using that. Like,
All right, so
just
make that clear.
move past that slide
Yes.
because, wow, that's amazing. Good job.
And now I'm going to hand it back over to Matt Holman.
Can I just ask a couple questions on this capital real quick? So in essence, just to go back, and I'm not trying to, beat a stone or anything like that. So I deal with grants. I am on calls all month long with all different grants, infrastructure grants, park and recreation, DEP, the fire police, like everything, EMS. If we have a road project, because right now it's gonna start coming out. We have a lot of infrastructure. We all have drainage problems, as you can see with the ordinance that's on tonight with the property that we're purchasing through open space. So I know we're meeting with the engineer and our business administrator to look in drainage. They're doing a whole master plan throughout the whole, I shouldn't use master plan, but a whole reevaluation throughout the plan to look at our drainage issues. So if we put in that in the 5-year of the capital, for improvements on drainage, but we sit there and we get a grant, say we put $3 million and we get 1.5, that $3 million is going to stay in there. If we don't go back and council say, hey, wait, I know 5 years later, we don't go and look at that 5-year plan, that $1.5 million is just going to sit in there until a council member goes and says, hey, wait, we got to reallocate that 1.5, correct?
Yes.
Because it's going to get offset by the grant money that comes into the CFO.
Yep.
Okay.
And just so you know, the ordinances that are created by your bond council usually has a caveat in there that
Okay.
allows for that type of reallocation, the grant in place of the debt.
Oh.
So bond council is already probably covering that for you. It's more
Good
so
to
just
know.
like you said, keeping in the mind that that's a movement that's going to happen behind the scenes later.
Because a couple of these I see on here are in a 3 to 5 year project that we're working on. So they would come off. Okay, that was great. Sorry. Thank you. That's
One other question I had. For the debt capacity, the 3-year equalized valuation, that does not include the reval year.
No, so that does not include the revalue. It's
So the valuation of the town going up as part of the reval,
So
it'll be a
that-
smaller percentage of our permitted debt it'll be much less than even what's in here now.
Yep. So once we go through 2025, when we do that type of debt analysis at January of 2026, we'll see the number go even down, and
Wow.
your remaining debt capacity will go up.
you get a new car. I'm kidding.
Thank you.
Yeah, just keep in mind too, and Ant mentioned it, this is an estimate. That capital budget is reviewed every year, and there are changes that are substantial that happen every year. Things change, different projects come up. So it's something that constantly has to be reevaluated and looked at.
We're already working on 2026. So
That's great.
yes.
All right, so just a couple more slides, I swear, just a few. The next one here, you'll see, we just wanted to hone in a little bit on this levy number that you have here. So it's approximately, we'll just use 36 million in this case. And again, that's the amount that needs to be raised by taxation. So we just want to take a look and see how Jackson stacks up against its closest neighbors here. And as you might suspect, slightly over where Manchester and Howell are coming in with their amount to be raised by taxation numbers. You can see Lakewood, Brick, and Toms River substantially higher. Just to give you a little bit of idea of where Jackson's stacking up versus the neighbors here. Go to the next slide. So another question we get a lot, why is a tax increase necessary? If it's not obvious, we threw a couple things out here. You have to maintain the level of services that have come to be expected in town. In order to do that, many cost factors contribute to these increases, whether it be pension, workers' comp, liability insurance, public safety. These all far exceed the 2% increase that the town is capped at. So when you look at the amount of different expenditures that are increasing on a year-to-year basis, it is a very difficult process to put together a budget that is only increasing by, in this case, we're raising taxes by under 2%. So it's difficult. There's a lot of cuts that have to be made. There's a lot of considerations that have to go into really every line that goes into this budget. And obviously, with the increase to cost of the everyday goods and services that we're seeing in this economy at this point, it just makes things even more difficult on that side. All right, next slide. All right, then we're just going to do a quick review of what we kind of talked about already. Just really wanted to hone in. The reassessment that happened in town, there's some misconception out there that this automatically will raise taxes. Again, that amount to be raised by taxation number becomes very important because last year's amount to be raised by taxation is approximately $600,000 less than this year's, which only represents a 1.9% increase from year to year. Now, the town is only taking in that lump amount of money. Now, it's being divvied up differently based on the evaluation of the properties that happen. But as Stephanie had said at the beginning, generally a third of the town will see an increase, a third will see a decrease, and a third will stay around the same amount that they were prior. I talked about the 2% increase to the levy. It's $675,000 in additional revenue being generated to make this budget work this year. This budget also allows for continued progress towards the long-term open space and capital plans of the town, and went into that a little bit on his capital side there. We talked about the rate being 0.25% of $100 of assessed value, and the average home is assessed at $652,896 this year, which represents approximately $1,660 in municipal tax. All right, I think that's our summary for the night. Just like to thank Stephanie for her tireless effort in getting this budget done.
Thank you.
And the council as well, and the administration.
No, you guys definitely work so well, and thank you. Just thank you.
Well, thank you, everybody. I'm happy we're at the finish line.
Well, I'm going to see you in 7 days to start 2026. I don't know.
Can't wait.
Now we're opening up to comments and questions from the public. You just come up, state your name.
Same way, regular comment, 5 minutes?
Yeah. Same way, regular, 5 minutes.
Hi, my name is Maria Fiore.
We just got to get you a microphone, ma'am.
No, there is. Just come closer.
Oh, it's
Lower.
in it. Oh, sorry.
Hi, my name is Maria Fiore, and I've been living in Jackson for 10 years. Okay, major change has begun. I am a senior citizen. I've lost my son. I have this neighbor that is harassing me to no end.
This is for the budget, ma'am.
Well, I need help here.
Okay, so
So come back in a few minutes. We'll call you back
We're
up.
almost done.
Jim, maybe more than 5 minutes.
Can you start? No,
9 months.
5 minutes. There we go.
All right. I appreciate your comments that how hard you guys worked on the budget. I don't understand why the information that is on the website does not give us correct information. And what do I mean by that? Okay. First things first, we have a budget on the page and there's number signs. We can't read the numbers. It's right there. Number signs. I have no idea what the numbers are. How can the public make a decision as to what's going on with the budget when the information is incorrect? Also, on the user-friendly budget, you guys know I've been asking for this for a while, but this is the reason why. Let's go to page 5. Okay, page 5, user-friendly budget, 2025, is the exact same numbers that was used in the budget of
What page?
2024.
Page 5?
Page 5, yep. It's UFB 5, so not
That's not
page
user
5
friendly.
within the budget.
Yeah.
This is the user-friendly budget. And basically, the page I'm looking at is the breakdown of the.
I have the page you're looking at.
Yes,
What-
so you have for 25.
I do.
That number, the numbers that are on there are the exact same thing that was posted in the 2024 budget. If you look at it, and again, this is what I'm reading out there. So in 2025, It says 7 million for assessed value. You just told us tonight it's 14 million or 14 billion. If you go back and look at 2024, it's still 7 million. Matter of fact, if you just look at the number of properties, 19,947, 2025, 19,947, 2024.
Mine says-
Exempt properties, 1147, 2025, 1147, 2024. How does the public know? This, to me, this is one of the more critical pages for me because it allows me to see how we are doing from a,
From
are we-
20, I get it. I know
Compare
what
and
you're
contrast.
saying.
well, I want to speak my mind.
No, no,
So,
no. I'm
you know,
agreeing.
I want, and the people want to, I want the people to understand. I want to know if we're getting more exemptions, are we picking it up by having more commercial? Because that's pretty much how you do it. This doesn't tell me anything, okay? It says the same thing. The other part on it, I would like to understand is the other exempt is almost 20% of the total exemption. Can we potentially look at what's in that other exempt and maybe consider that as another column? My guess is what that number includes are the fully exempt veterans, but it's kind of hard to see. And that number's gone up pretty drastically in the last 3 years. Okay? That's my comments there. Next part of it that I have a comment, and you kind of talked about, you brought up the whole why a tax increase, and you kind of showed the different municipalities. Well, we all know the biggest expense in this town is salaries, right? No one's going to argue that. It's more than 50% of our total budget. My question is, has anybody done an evaluation of the salaries that we are paying compared to what other townships are paying?
I
can
can
tell-
answer that, yeah.
Hold on.
Okay, I thought you asked a
I figure
question.
if I got only 5
Oh,
minutes,
okay,
I
go
want
ahead.
to kind of get,
Oh, no, go,
okay?
go, go.
I can tell you, 9 months, I was able to do a lot myself, okay? Jackson Township in Ocean County is first or second in the amount, highest salaries that we're paying. And where we really are the highest is when it looks at the executive level salaries. And why do I bring that up? Is because the last 2 years, I keep bringing it up. We use a salary range, but the range gets updated just because you want to pay the individuals in that position at the highest level. And that's not how a salary range is typically used. So that's that question. One of my questions that just as I sat there listening regarding the open space, and yes, I know it was a referendum and it was in 2020, and I voted yes for it and everything. I remember it. I look at it now and see we're going from 2 million to 4 million in what we're collecting. My question is there somewhere that you're showing exactly what's on the table to spend this money on so that the people can see it? And if we're not going to spend $4 million every year, because I don't see our assessments going down anytime soon, so we're going to, at the 3 cents, we're going to collect that kind of money every year. That needs to be a section that the people get to see as to where we're spending this money on.
So
Because, and let me tell you why
I appreciate the question.
my comment would be is if we're going to not spend that kind of money, do we put out a new referendum that lowers it? Because when 2020, we were based on a $7 billion assessment. We're now at 14 billion. So do you want to keep charging the residents to pay for it if we're not going to use the money in a timely fashion? So that's a situation. You said it can't be changed. Well, it can be if you do another referendum.
Okay, I'm going to answer you. I'm just going to answer that question, and then they can email you the rest of your questions or answer whatever questions that they want to do. In regard to the open space, I knew that this was coming up and that we were getting over $4 million. So collectively, we're at $8.1 million in open space money. We are trying to buy properties. We're taking one tonight. We're not taking one, I apologize. We're buying one tonight. I didn't mean that. We also, I created, which this council created, in a recreation committee, which there's 7 members of the township that are on it, that are all different residents of the township. We've identified 5 parcels of properties that we're redoing across from the Wawa that they just closed, that baseball park. That is going to be completely remodeled. We're currently working on, which I'm waiting for the plans to come back on the park. Now I can't remember the park. Oh, for South New Prospect. Oh, Camp Joy.
Camp Joy.
Mike, we're going Camp Joy.
Backyard.
Yeah. So we're doing.
I lived there as a kid.
Yeah. So we have that one. We're waiting for the numbers. We did Woodland Park. We are doing so many parks and soccer fields and everything like that. So that is where it is going. And you will have a complete and total spreadsheet of
And that's fine. that you're
where
saying-
every penny is spent.
It's fine that you're saying,
But I just want to
it's always
address,
important to see this stuff.
I just want to
Well, I'm
address.
trying. You know how
we
hard it
did
is to
have-
get things done? It's not fast. I'm trying.
I would-
Johnson
I would
Park,
get
we're
my
doing.
violin out for you, but I'm
Listen,
not going to.
no, but Johnson Park, that hasn't been looked at in 10 years. We have that all getting done. We have the engineer working on that. We're doing a dog park. I've met with them multiple times. I'm waiting for the bid for that to get the work done. Believe me, we have them out there. We're going to do it. Go ahead, Councilman. I'm sorry.
I'll turn it over to the professional
Yes.
team for a minute.
Go ahead.
Just to address I think the first question was the number signs on that one form. Unfortunately, the state gives us that form and the cells are locked. And if it's over a certain dollar value, it creates those number signs. That's an ancillary page to the budget. That's like an additional page to the budget. So
When you give it to the public, when they see it, right away, where do you go? What do
yeah,
you hide?
we can try and extract that out of there and give another Excel file that can have that information. User-friendly budget sheet 5. That information comes from the county abstract ratables. And because of when the reassessment values went into play, the date on that is supposed to be October 1st of 2024. So that's why you're seeing those assessed valuations at the dollar figures
Those
that
were
they
the
are.
same as the assessed value.
So in the prior year, they used a different, they updated it probably before it was supposed to be updated.
And Council President, I just want to add one thing is we did have a conversation among some of our colleagues about the $2 million and $4 million. And if that's something that the residents would want, I think we would definitely consider it. But at this point, we felt that it gives us more of an opportunity to try to look for more open space.
And all I'm saying is if you have the list of properties, hey, here's our properties we're going after, and it's $4 million fee, I'm okay with that. But if you take in $4 million and your list is only $1 million.
No, it's definitely, I'll share it with you. I have no
and the
problem.
question is, is it new properties or are we spending most of the money kind of?
We've had trouble getting new properties with the
Well, it's-
assessment and with the bidding wars that exist, but yeah.
So, thank you.
All right.
Have a great night.
Publish it. It's not a secret.
Carlos Martins. I'm here as a Jackson resident. I want to thank the gentleman that just left. That was great. And I totally support. We're gonna stay. We're gonna stay on top of that open fund,
100%.
open land fund, because it is some things that I see in there that are a little concerning. So it's important to stay on top of.
We're
what we
cleaning
do.
it up with the CFO.
Okay. Okay. So some quick yes or no questions. The budget, does it break down by quarter? Or is it only full year? Full year? Okay. Is it possible, I brought this up before, the presentation is great, by the way, a lot better than last year. So congratulations. But I would love to see on a quarterly basis, like we do in corporate, some kind of earnings release. How are we doing to budget? How we got run rate? Some kind of, you're already starting 2026, right? So based on what we see in actuals, what implications does it have to our 2026 outlook, right? Something like that on a quarterly basis to the residents here. And I realize, because when I brought this up last time, you're not obligated to do that. So it'd be the kindness of your heart. If you're willing to do something like that, I know I would appreciate it. I think others here would appreciate it as well. Just let us know how we're doing.
Can I make a
answer that simple
simple
question.
Stephanie?
Yeah.
Ms. Moore? I was just, if you want to answer that, I mean, that's where we could do it. And I'll read them. We get monthly department head updates.
That's what I
So
hear.
I can read it. I didn't read it. It's going to be read next meeting because we had so much. but we can start implementing that if
That's what you guys want.
if that's what you want, we'd be more than happy.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't take a survey. I don't know if everybody wants it, but I know I
Listen,
would
you want it
appreciate
and you're going to get it, okay?
Whether I like it or not.
Our friend in the back would love it too.
Anyway, okay, that's it. Otherwise, thank you. I mean, I
Thank you.
applauded when Mr. Palmieri talked about you guys, no rubber stamping, no
No rubber
Biden auto
stamping.
pen here. We're reviewing the damn budget. I don't care how long it takes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
This is just for the budget, correct? Okay, thank you. Donnie Yadelman, Willow Point Drive. I hate to be the bringer of bad news or to ask questions that haven't been put out to the public. School tax, which I saw was, what you said, 54% roughly?
Can you just talk into the microphone? I
The
can't hear
school
you.
tax was just what, about roughly 54% of what the money coming in is for. Jackson Board of Education is currently undergoing a lawsuit with the state because the state said with the new funding that you had to do 10% this year, which didn't happen, and 10% last year, which didn't happen. You sued them. You're going to lose that lawsuit, not you, the Board of Ed. And the state has said, well, wait, we actually made a math error. It's going to be closer to about 30%. So is there any accounting for what's on the horizon? Because not only do we have that pending 30% school tax increase coming over 2 years, we have things like Mr. Cardinale's lawsuit that he's going to file for them changing the zoning that he had agreed to. And I know that, people may not want to hear this, believe this, or whatever, but just due to the way of the nature of the lawsuit and what's going to go down between what he's suing for and extra damages, we're going to be paying basically double. So if he sues us for the $120 million that he sues us for, if we don't settle, we're going to be looking at about $240 million hit. What about the accounting for that? Because again, these are issues that face the residents that are not being addressed that, well, certainly a 30% school increase when it's at 54.5% sounds like a lot of money, going on these new assessments, even if we're essentially lowering taxes to keep the amounts the same. So you got that. Next is the fact that with all this doom and gloom, we are increasing the taxes, and the average assessment based upon what it is that I saw on one of the slides went up about $300,000. Look, I understand no one wants to pay more and no one wants to pay more taxes. That's clearly a given. Doesn't matter whether it's a property tax, sales tax, it doesn't make a bit of difference. No one wants to pay more tax. But the reality is that the residents always complain about their needs not being met in many different ways. And a lot of that is because of the fact that we don't have the money to do it. Yes, there are things where you say we need more cops and all that. I don't agree with that, but certainly it would be nice to be able to pay for it. We need teachers. We need the ability to keep schools open, not sell them because we have no other option. I know that the busing issue for students has become a hot point in town, but I look at it as we're getting all the benefit of that 54.5%, and we only have the responsibility of busing them instead of busing for them and paying for the education, which is a significant financial difference as far as what we'd be responsible for. And then, again, we have salaries. Gentleman back there brought it up. What about the salaries for the work that is either not being completed by employees, selectively completed by employees, or you have employees that are put in positions and they don't use the resources of their position. They don't use the resources of the town. They just go off of what they think it is. They go off of what they think how they think it is, or they go off of, property managers, little things like that, because, well, code enforcement, you have problems there. Work's not being done. They're still getting paid for it. All right. I had an incident in my house where after all these years, it was finally verified to, I guess, the business administrator, at the time, that an animal control officer called me a disabled loser. And Cheney's best thing that he could say for it is he says that I interfered in the situation that has nothing to do with me. That's not true. But even if it was true, there's no reason a Jackson animal control officer should be calling a resident a disabled loser and then sending him a ticket. Meanwhile, he was there for me. little things like this because, well, it all affects us. We're throwing money away with lawsuits. We're throwing money away trying to defend tax increases and all that. If we had accepted that 20% number when they first put it out, it would have been done and settled. But now you're looking at another 10%. And again, at 54%, that adds up. That adds up because everybody's paying for it. I thought, again, not having kids, having kids in school, I always thought like maybe people like in the over 55 communities were relieved of that burden. Found out they weren't.
Sorry, thank you.
I'll be back.
All right, thank you.
Council President, can I just touch on the school question he had? I can touch on that for the budget
Yes.
if you'd like.
Yes, Councilman.
So I know that the school board budget is not controlled by the council. The Board of Education create their own budget. The council only collects and then distributes to the school, the Board of Education. We don't have any say in their budget. I will tell you, last year, the school board voted no unanimously on the 9.9% increase. However, the state monitor overrode the school board. This year, the school board only raised the taxes by 2%, not the 20%. And I know currently from the school board president that they are seeking legal action against the state, and that's what they stated publicly, because the S2 funding formula cut so deeply over the last 8 years. But the school board budget has nothing to do with the council in terms of controlling it, or all we do is distribute it.
Councilman Putnam, I completely agree with you, and I understand that. My concern is not so much how it's being spent. I mean, there could be sides to that, but I've never got to a school board meeting, so I couldn't even begin to fathom about that. I know we probably need more teachers. I'm talking about the money that's coming in, all right? Like, again, you said that they fought the 9.9%, and it's going to be jammed down our throat. That 9.9% is going to be 15%, and then that 2% that is going to be rejected is going to be another 15%, and that's just going to add
Well,
to
I'm
lawsuits.
this is a different budget.
But you know
So
why?
I'm gonna end this
Elections
conversation
matter.
here. Yeah.
And this November,
Yeah.
if you don't want to see the same thing happening, you
Yeah.
need to vote for Jack Ciattarelli for governor, or you're going to have the same thing with anybody else.
Nah,
Elections
he's
matter
a-
at the state level.
He's
Thank
a
you.
loser and a leech.
All right, thank you. Any more, oh,
I have two comments. One is in regards to the school.
can I just have your name? and
Oh, I'm
your-
sorry, Val Tudor, Right to Bow Road.
Thank you.
I don't know if any of you have gotten to read Phil Murphy's budget yet. I have. And he considers Jackson a wealthy town, and we're getting $700,000 less next year. So that's something that's always nice to hear, especially since he gave us the gift of allowing us to raise our property taxes up to 9.9. And he gave the gift to Tom's River, they could raise theirs up to 13.9, because as you all know, public school budget has to be equalized out. It has to be met. You can't carry. Now, the other issue I have is, are we still paying for Phil Stilton? Is that coming out of our money in the budget?
Yes, he is still on, and he's in the council's budget.
Well, I don't know. I'm paying for it though, right?
He is on there, yes.
All right, I think we need to get rid of Phil Stilton. I mean, I've seen multiple articles on him, and I'm going to ask you all a question. Is he blackmailing you in any way, shape, or form?
No, ma'am.
Well, that seems to be his what he does. That seems to be his pattern, and that's why people end up using him. And then if they don't, then he badmouths them. But my problem with Phil Stilton is in regards to the town council seat in November. He was very complimentary about Ken Bressie, and he should be. He was very complimentary about Al, and I don't know how to pronounce his last name, and he should be. What he wasn't very complimentary was Chris Pollock. And he was very spiteful, vindictive. And since you represent me, the town council is supposed to represent me, a resident of Jackson, and the rest of us, it makes you look small, petty, and vindictive, and consequently me. If he has an issue with him,
His
then it should
personal feelings towards anything is his personal. In what he
No,
does, what he
no.
gets paid for us is not on our
because
council
I
page.
actually have it in writing here.
That it was on the Jackson Township Council page? Something political? It's never been on there. The
Well,
only thing he does is he posts our announcements on Jackson Township Council page. That is what we pay him for.
well, he's got these things out there.
But that's not anything to do with Jackson Township, nor is that what we
Then
pay him
why
for.
aren't you going back at him and telling him that you
Because
don't
his
want
personal
him-
life is his personal life.
We don't control his
We
First
don't
Amendment.
control his personal life. What he does in his personal life is fine.
Well, I don't appreciate the fact that you're letting him badmouth someone who doesn't
I
deserve
can't
it.
tell him what to do in his personal
Well,
life,
then
ma'am.
get rid of him.
I
Get
personally
rid
think he
of
does a great
him.
job on our council page.
Well, I don't want to pay for him.
Okay.
Does anybody here want to pay for Phil Stilton? All right, well, you're representing us.
Thank you.
We'd like him taken out of the budget because we, like I said, he makes us all look petty, vindictive, and small. He says he crafts his messages based on your feedback.
Thank you, ma'am.
This is about the budget. It's about the budget. Oh, okay, fine, making sure. Just wanted-
My name's Adam. I live in Jackson. I just had a question. Do you guys have any intentions of using any budget for?
You have they're here for Q&A.
Sorry. Do you guys have any intentions of using the budget for just protecting land, like buying land and just preserving it for wildlife, or maybe hiking trails? I know you guys were talking about like renovating the dog parks and things like that, Jonathan Park and stuff, and was just hoping maybe we
Things
could-
of that nature would come from the open space, which would be approved by the council.
Yeah, I just spoke about that before you came. We're doing the open, I'll send you a copy. If you want to email me, I'll give you a copy of when we get the concept plan.
Okay. And I was listening on the way. Is this like about like Johnson Park and
Yes,
things like that?
yes.
Okay. I didn't hear anything about just.
You didn't hear what I said?
No,
So-
I heard what you said. It didn't sound like it was anything relative to what I asked.
I can't hear you, that's why. So
I heard what you said on the way here. I was listening, but it just didn't.
what was
sound
your
like
question that you asked? Because she pointed it to me for open
If-
space.
If any of the budget's money would be used like towards buying land and just
Yes,
preserving
open
it,
space.
not doing anything with it, like not
Correct.
actually developing on it.
If it's not meant for a park or anything like that, then yeah, we wouldn't do anything.
Okay.
Thank you.
Seeing no one else come forward on the budget, make the motion to close the public comment on the budget only.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The next item on the agenda is Resolution 281, 2025, to read the municipal budget by title. May I have a motion?
Motion?
second,
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bressi?
yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes, and again, a big thank you to our entire team by the table there. I know how hard you worked, all days of the week, all hours of the night, and multiple emails, et cetera. And it's easy for people just to open snippets of those emails, but I know how hard you guys work, so thank you, yes.
Council President Kuhn?
Yes, and again, thank you, thank you, thank you. I couldn't thank you enough for all of your time and dedication to Jackson Township's budget. We appreciated working with you. It was a pleasure.
Thank
Yes.
you. The next item of business is the adoption of the 2025 municipal budget. Resolution 255, 2025, passed for first reading on July 22nd, 2025, and amended by Resolution 269, 2025 on August 26, 2025. May I please have a motion to adopt the 2025 municipal budget?
Motion.
Second?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bressi?
Yes,
Councilman Palmieri?
I'm going to vote yes, but I would just like to thank our professionals, our CFO, our auditor, our business administrator for all the hard work, and a special thanks for the countless hours to Council President Kuhn. I know you run your own business and you're very busy,
Thank
but you put in a lot of time in going line by line, and that bond ordinance over $1 million that you found with the CFO, this was scoffed at as
And the
some kind of
auditor.
conspiracy. It wasn't. It was actually something from 20 years ago almost, that we can repurpose and use it for something that is actually good. So thank you for your hard work, Council Vice President Bernstein. I know you as well. This was just an amazing act of working together. So yes.
Thank you.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes, and before I thank the professionals, I also want to thank my colleagues. Council President Kuhn probably put in a couple hundred hours into this budget. A day didn't go by where she called with questions and comments and ideas, and some of the ideas made sense, some of them,
Think about my highlighters.
it never stopped. And then my colleagues on council, especially Councilman Palmieri, I know you pushed, you had multiple meetings at also crazy, strange hours. And Councilman, I know you just joined the council, and I know you took it in. I'm sure Councilman Borelli, everyone really worked hard, so we appreciate it. And looking forward to starting to work next week on next year's budget. So yes.
Council President Kuhn.
Yes, everybody on the dais did an amazing job. It was a council that worked together that we obviously found that we haven't done in a long time to go through this budget. As a new CFO, you hit it out of the park, grand slam with your team, and I'm looking forward
I'm
to
sure there were moments that you got nervous, but we made it
She was
through.
like, why did I come here? No, but sorry that we were so heavily involved, but now that we know the process and procedures, we'll be there from the beginning. We didn't know we were supposed to be there when all of the department heads were coming in. We didn't have that opportunity. Now that we have that, we could hear it, right from, the department heads, pen and paper and mouth, and we can go from there. So thank you again. And yes, we're done. 2026.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda listed for tonight's consideration. Resolutions 282 through 291, 2025 listed by title. Council President Kuhn, are there any comments on the consent agenda?
Would anybody from the public or on the dais like us to remove any resolution from the consent agenda and have it an open discussion? Nope,
Doesn't look like it.
we're good to go. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
May I have a motion to authorize the consent agenda, resolutions 282 through 291, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Council President Kuhn? Excuse me.
I was like, wait, what?
I apologize. Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bressi?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes, and I would just ask Council President, can you elaborate on R 288-2025, designated custodian of record for the Jackson Township Police Department, what that means?
I'd be more than happy to. So this will rely on the resolution for our chief of police to handle his own records. Right now, there's a gap between, it goes to the clerk, it goes to the chief's office, through the redaction team. We're going to have him hold all of his own records so that there's no, confusion within the department, and that everything that is in the police department with his records, the chief will be responsibly and solely responsibly to take care of his own records instead of putting it in our clerk's office. It wasn't a good place to be. As you can see, we've been doing this. I think since the clerk came in, we've been cleaning up the clerk's office. We have the bonds now with the engineers. We have, escrows with the CFO. And now we're at the police department and saying, you know what, this should really be back with the chief where it always probably was, I guess. But we're the right home for it. So welcome home, records.
Council President Kuhn.
Oh, yes. I just wanted to just bring light to Resolution 291-2025. And that is for our amazing clerk. And she has been with us, and we are growing in our clerk's office. We have all new clerks. She is absolutely, absolutely amazing. She's bringing all of these great things to light. So we wanted to, what did they say? Put a contract on it so that she can't leave us and can't go anywhere. So we really wanted to, thank you. I want to thank you. Working with you is an absolute pleasure. We get the agendas done. You have a great team. You have the deputy clerk and the other staff, and together, I think we never miss our dates for the councilmen to get their agendas, and the public always gets them on time. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but you guys get them by 3:00 on Friday. And when she was on maternity leave, she was having a baby, and we still got it on time with the deputy clerk. So we're really proud of where the clerk's office and where we're at. And I just want to thank you. And I hope our fellow council members.
And I want to just echo that, Council President. I know this entire council worked very hard. It's not a secret. When many members of this council came on, we had some changing staffing in the clerk's office. It's all brand new staff, and they come together. If you walk in there, the attitude, the atmosphere is positive. They've modernized the office a little bit more, making more kiosks and other things.
She's on a Pilates ball all day.
And it's really come a long way. So we appreciate it. And I'm happy to see you staying here. I'm happy that you want to stay here.
Yeah.
And I know you have a great working relationship with the administration, and I'm wishing everyone lots of success in the next couple of years.
Yes. So I vote yes on everything if we're voting.
Motion approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council President Kuhn, is there anything further by Township Council before we open up to public comment?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. At this time, if any member of the public has any comments to make, please address the council at the microphone and state your name and address clearly for the record. You'll have 5 minutes and may only speak once. May I have a motion to open public comment?
Motion?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Just say your name and address into the record. If you don't want to say your address, you could say Jackson.
Okay, so my name is Maria Fiore. I am a resident of Jackson. I live on Illinois Avenue. And for the last 10 years, I've been harassed by my neighbor. Okay, I can't sleep at night. There are storage shipping containers put in the driveway, in the backyard. Hundreds of children running. He's running an illegal business. He's bootlegging, okay? I've called the police. I've gone to Mr. Palmer, who's told me in the code department, right to my face, that I am annoying and harassing him.
Wait, in the code enforcement department?
Oh, yes,
And who did you speak with?
Mr. Palmer,
Who's
I've-
Mr. Palmer?
one of the officers there.
Okay, please, go ahead.
Okay. I went to the mayor's office and they've tried to help me. I've had this man address me while my son has been dying. I put signs on my window, please be quiet. This is all hours of the night, okay? He's supposed to be a religious man. Well, religious people do not drive on Friday night and sell alcohol imported from Italy. So who is going to help me? Okay? Do I have to move out of Jackson?
No.
These people are on welfare, renting an apartment. There is garbage all over my lawn. And I've been told to shut up. I am just a vessel. Okay? I'm 62 years old. I have a heart condition, and this man is abusing me. Okay? And his children are abusing me. They are blocking my driveway. They are running all kinds of businesses and not paying taxes, but yet I'm paying taxes. And this is senior citizen abuse, okay? I tried to sleep at night. I've called the cops. I got cameras at my bedroom window and lights all night long. So just think about the noise. And if he wasn't running an illegal business, then why are cars pulling up all hours of the night, in the middle of the night, and bottles clanging? And I've seen the alcohol because he's tried to bribe me. And I have a letter here about his illegal business, that he's not paying taxes. And I have pictures of truckloads of carloads dropping off cases and the garbage, cupcakes in the yard, chocolate. I mean, the list goes on, and no one wants to help me. My poor son had brain cancer, and this man would not stop with the noise. I tried niceness, okay? And it's getting to a point where I want to sell the house. And you know what? My grandparents, I am a Jewish religion too. So I don't appreciate somebody telling me that I am a vessel and I am beneath him. That is rude. Senior citizen abuse, and I need help. And no one's been helping me. And I can't sleep at night. I've called the cops and they've lied. They go to the cops and say they just turned the lights on. The lights have been on all night. Police department is for people in an emergency. I shouldn't have to call the cops every night. I mean, I need help here. Someone
All right.
needs to help me.
Ma'am, that letter,
And I have
can you give it to the deputy clerk? Can you wait for me? I'm going to step down. Can you just hold him? I'm going to go talk to him. Ma'am, I'm going to come and talk to you.
I really need help.
Okay.
All right, speak to the council president. Next, anyone else wants?
Jim Salakia, Jackson. Unfortunately, one of my comments was going to be to Ms. Kuhn, and with her stepping down.
I'll pass it there.
No, you don't want to pass this one to her. I want to say it to her. listening to you guys tonight talk about the ordinances that are being put in place. Ordinances are great, okay, on one condition. Ordinances are great on one condition, and that is if they're going to be enforced. So what I would love to see, and I understand that Director Candido is leaving his position and going back, I would love to see what our police department considers the top ordinances that they are actually enforcing and the ones that they feel like they don't need to. Because if you guys are passing an ordinance and they're not going to do anything about it, it kind of makes no sense. You can pass the ordinance to wear a helmet, but if they're not going to enforce it, guess what? You have the same risks, okay? So that's what that was my comment. My other one was to Ms. Kuhn, and basically my statement to her was she needs to stop questioning another council person's vote. It's their right to vote any way they want. When she hears a vote she doesn't like, she turns away from the person, makes funny faces, and then kind of goes back at him as to like, how dare you vote no to one of my ordinances? I think that's totally classless, especially when you're doing it here on the dais. My other problem with her, and she just speaks so fast, you don't hear anything. She needs to slow down. You know, when she reads some of this stuff, I think I hear 1 out of every 3 pages that she reads. The other comment I have is a couple of meetings ago, I think Mr. Phillips had presented you guys with a department reviews,
A report,
or whatever
yeah.
they were. And Mr. Dasty, because Mr. McGuckin wasn't here, made a statement, and Ms. Kuhn agreed that that document would be published on the township website. We're now 6 weeks later, I think it was 6 weeks ago that it happened. 4 or 6 weeks.
2 meetings ago, yeah.
And it still hasn't happened. So we can listen to the items that she wants to talk about, but if it's 157 pages, she's not saying everything. So give us a chance to look into it, and maybe we can find things that we think you guys need to be looking at on top of what you guys are finding. Because again, you're not going to find, as I've proven, you haven't found everything. So give us a chance. I thought when he recommended putting it out on the website, it was a great idea. Haven't seen it. So talked about getting another one, and coming in, it's great. I would love to go in and see these guys all the time, but I don't want to go into the clerk's office and sit there and read through a 157-page document. I don't want to make them feel that uncomfortable. So I'd rather sit in my home and read it. So those are my comments.
Thank you. And I just want to respond to the first thing about the police department. I will reach out and to speak to council president and to the business administrator tomorrow. I will tell you, we've had a conversation about some ordinances the residents have brought to us, and my attitude has been, at a certain point, there's no purpose to creating more ordinances if what we have on the books, and we actually have some great ordinances on the books, if they're not being enforced. So it's easy for everyone just to yell, create ordinances, but if we aren't doing anything about them, it's a waste. That's my attitude, and I think most of my colleagues here in council agree. So I will follow up with the police department tomorrow.
Let's find out what ordinances they're really following, because I can tell you, I know a lot of the ones that you guys put in that kind of, and again, comment is always,
we're trying.
We don't have enough policemen to handle this town. Well, you know what? At some point, that defeats the purpose. We're paying a budget. We just talked about the budget tonight. Well, if we're not getting the services that we're paying for, what do we do about it? So, and I'm not putting it on the police department that they're not doing it. It's just, again, there's a lot out there. So
Correct.
I think for our sake is where are we getting the best hits from? Because maybe it is something that you guys think is really important, but they haven't started looking at it, and we can kind of switch things around. So.
Don't disagree. Thank you.
Dan Pekarchik, Jackson. I just want to follow up on what this gentleman just said. I've been coming before this council for over a year and a half complaining about ordinances not being enforced. Now, tonight you created a new ordinance for electric bikes and scooters. And anytime I complain about the children not wearing helmets when they're riding on the sidewalks and the streets, when I complain about the parking on the wrong side of the streets, when I complain about traffic cones on 3 different roads in Brookwood 1, preventing people from parking on different streets and create a traffic hazard when I'm trying to get into my street. And when I complain about this, the answer from the council is, we don't have enough police. I'm tired of it. How can you create a new ordinance when you don't have enough police to enforce the ordinances that are already on the books? It's a disgrace. And I have one other question. There's a new mitzvah going up on Wood Lane and New Prospect. There's signs of the builder, the excavator, and whatnot. Now there's a new sign up that's in Hebrew saying that a mitzvah is coming. Do we have to have an ordinance that signs like that should be in English too? I should be able to read a sign and know what's being built on that property without having to have a friend come over and translate it. I think there's a big problem there. I'm not infringing on anybody's freedom of speech. Put up whatever you want, but when you put it up so that it's on facing a public road and it's lit up at night, it doesn't seem right.
If the sign is legal, and I don't know if it is, I haven't seen it, but if the sign itself is legal, the township cannot control what's on it. So if the sign
Are we going
is
to
legal,
allow, are we
and the
going to
property
allow,
owner-
like in
Let me finish.
Lakewood,
Let me
when
finish.
the
Let me
buildings have just
Can I
Hebrew
just-
writing on
Can I
them?
just finish? Can I just finish? If the sign is legal, the township cannot control what is on the sign. The language of it, what it says, anything like that, we have no authority to control that. Only thing we can control is whether the sign is legal or not. We can't control what's on a sign. That's
It just
basic
doesn't, it
First
just
Amendment.
doesn't seem right.
Basic First Amendment. I
I'm
understand.
not,
I-
I'm not anti-Semitic, I'm not anti-anything. And I understand if we control signs, we might have to say to the Latin community, you have to put up in English, what your store is
The
too.
problem is, where do you draw the line? Is it only for Hebrew?
It's America,
Is it
we're an
only for Hebrew? Is it only
English-speaking
for English?
country.
What if someone is Spanish and they want to have a Spanish sign?
That's where we draw the line, we're America, we're an English-speaking country.
I don't necessarily disagree with you, but the First Amendment permits it and the courts permit it.
It's disgraceful.
Thank you, sir.
Donnie Edelman, 206 Willow Point. I just think it's kind of ironic that I come up right after having a First Amendment talk. Couple of things. I'd like to volunteer for the Revolution Committee. It appears that quite a few people in this town forgot what the Founding Fathers fought for, what the Founding Fathers ingrained into our country, and what Jackson employees have been allowed to do and run amok to violate people's civil rights. Also, I'm very interested in the town's history. I've done a lot of work over the past, 19, 20 years since I've lived in town, collecting and learning about the town's history. I already spoke about the school taxes. Mr. Stilton, I really don't want to touch that one with the 10-foot pole, but I'll say this. Mr. Stilton created what is the de facto town Facebook group. Mr. Stilton is a paid representative of the town at this point. There are public notices being posted on that group. And I think that before Mr. Stilton gets another paycheck, that somebody needs to say, hey, Mr. Stilton, you need to make everybody in Jackson allowed to be in that group. No more kicking people out because you disagree with them. Quick question. Mr. Candido over there, is he now active law enforcement or is he police director?
He is police director until, if he goes in, I believe at 7 a.m. on Tuesday morning, he will be a lieutenant.
So he'll be back. So he'll be back to an active cop.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And again, we will still have a public safety director.
Okay. Well, look forward to that one.
Thank you.
Next is, it's all intermingled, but I'm still having my mouse problem, my toilet problem, my parking problem, plus my rent problem, all because I went to the executive branch as recommended because you guys only make the rules. And the executive branch, again, told me that he's not interested in doing his job. He told me that he didn't use the resources of his position because I understand, as somebody who's supposed to play Solomon here, shouldn't go off of my word, shouldn't go off of my property manager's word. Use the resources that his position gave to him. Nah, he just comes and causes a problem. It's been now 5 months. I've been living with a mouse infestation. Cheney has told me that in as many words that he won't do anything. He tells me that it's okay. His underlings call me a disabled loser. Mr. Phillips, after hearing that, did nothing, and apparently Mr. Phillips endorses the fact that I'm being called a disabled loser. So what is it that I'm left to do? Because this is not hearsay. This is all available. This was all caught on film. And I have a business administrator who was willing to work with me. Something happened. He's no longer here. The new one tells me how benevolent he's being by meeting with me, and then comes in. Not only does he do nothing, he actually causes more problems than I had before he showed up. There's no accountability. I have problems with the police department. Everybody's worried about transparency and, freedoms and everything else like that, but it doesn't show. Just hot on the press today. Jackson police officer was in a car accident because, he was speeding. He says he was on his way to a call, but, it was one of those low priority calls. He just decided that he wanted to drive really fast because no one's going to stop him and give him a ticket. He got hurt. He wrecked a cruiser. Hotzela came and rendered assistance. And then for his trouble, the Hotzela driver and the Hotzela people got tickets in the mail. All right. It's not accurate. Why is this being allowed?
But can we move on? Please, I'm respectfully asking to move on.
Respectfully, that's a question. As far as I'm sorry that I missed the last time. I broke a screw, so titanium is not what it's supposed to be, or at least I thought it was, so I wasn't able to come. But did you create, I guess the right way to put it would be affordable housing zones where you're going to put all the affordable housing communities or units that you're obligated to?
So the town so far created, I think the ordinance had 2 zones in 4 different locations in town that would allow for a 20% set aside for affordable housing as per state mandate.
Okay. All right. So we got that. Next is weed sales in town. One of the reasons that brought me to this body was when
Wait, what did you say in town?
Weed, cannabis.
Oh.
All right. One of the things that brought me to the meetings when I started coming here regularly was.
I know, but wait after, because I want to ask you something on that. You seem like you might be able to answer my question.
Well, I just want to make it known that the police department is actively allowing minors to access cannabis.
So
Let's
I'm very.
after.
Let's talk about it after. I know what you're talking about, and I have addressed it, and it's being looked into. If you're talking about the right spot, that's why I'll see you. Wait till I'm done.
Okay.
I know. Really?
Okay.
Okay. Sir. No. We can't do that. Come on up.
My name is Adam Heidi. I live in Jackson. Again, I'm just here speaking on behalf of the environment, and I just hoping there can be a shift in our perspective of the ordinances we pass and when we communicate with the zoning and planning board. I just really, guys, want you to be more environmentally conscious. Looking at Bennett's Mills Road and East Veterans Highway, the 2 wildlife refuges there, Eno and the Butterfly Bog, we have speed limits of 45, 50 miles per hour. I'm always seeing dead geese, dead turtles, snakes. Everything's just pancaked. So I was hoping maybe you guys can take a look into places like that. And just before I was asking the budget people, maybe we could look into using some of our money to buy land and just do nothing with it. I feel like our town is developing pretty quickly, and I'm okay with that if the environmental rules are abided by, but we should also think about just doing nothing with some of our land for the sake of biodiversity and wildlife. Princeton, Lawrenceville, Hopewell, they all do things like that where they just even buy development rights and just do nothing with the land. It's really good for the environment, really good for our habitats, flood in and things like that. So that's all I'm asking. If you guys can please just be a little bit more environmentally conscious.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yep. Carlos Martins Jackson. Unlike in the past, well, okay, I take that back. I just want to second what my newly minted friend Adam said about the environment. And yeah, and especially the open space. I have to agree. I know now that it's revised, so you can use it, the money for recreation and other things. But maybe we should think about, hey, how about we just leave it the way it is and allow, the animals that live there to continue to live there. So anyway, I just wanted to second that. Okay, so I'm going to go now back to what I wrote down on my agenda, which I usually don't get to. So last time, or one of the times, there was an ordinance that was being passed, and I think it was Mr. Shea mentioned that, hey, you can go to the Pinelands Commission and make yourself known. And Mr. McGuckin gave me the information. I signed up. I did my homework. I got a notification. It was like middle of August, one of their meetings, right? Unfortunately, I guess all the discussions had already been done. It was on the agenda, Jackson, right there. It's great. But it was in the section where now we're not taking any comments, and really wasn't up for the discussion. It was just to say, hey, we're gonna approve. We've been negotiating. It's done. Nothing that there was, there was an opportunity at the end for general comments, but that's not what I was there for. I wanted to give my opinion on the Jackson one, but it was too late.
You had your first experience at the Pinelands. That is the Pinelands. That's how you deal with the Pinelands. They're their own entity. The DEP doesn't even regulate them. They're their own world, and they're very, very hard to work with. Mr. McGuckin and I have had many experiences with them, and you just happen to learn it the hard way.
Yeah, right. So you guys have no dominion over them, but you're here, so I'm gonna vet and better than hiring a therapist and talking to them. The other thing, right? Their meeting's on Friday at 9:30 a.m. Well, who? I mean, come on. Do you really want public opinion and you have a meeting at 9:30? It makes no sense.
Mr.
And
Martin,
I think to your point,
Mr. Martin, if I could just respond for a second. Piggyback off what Mr. Palmieri said before, that's why we need to change a governor, because that the Pinelands Commission is mostly a governor appointed commission. Seven of the commissioners are governor appointed commissioners, and hopefully with a good strong Republican there, we could actually have a voice and a way of getting through to the Pinelands.
This has been there's a lot of Pinelands in Jackson, and even with the land use applications, people don't understand that when something's approved, they want to know why won't the Pinelands give final approval. The Pinelands will not give a final approval until the Planning and Zoning Board gives an approval first. Then the Pinelands will put their 2 cents in. So they have total control over that. They're one of the hardest organizations to deal with. And as far as 9:30 Friday morning meeting, we've had meetings, Mr. McGuckin, on New Year's Eve at 6 o'clock in the snow.
Yeah.
And then they wanted to cut it short.
Or 3:30 in Friday afternoon meeting, just
Right.
the way they are.
Right. And it's now, I guess to their credit, it's all via Zoom, right? Which doesn't benefit me a lot because my charisma doesn't seem to come across as good as it when I'm in person. So I guess Zoom is okay, but 9:30 in the morning on a Friday, people got to work. Anyway, I wanted to get that off my chest. Another thing, so the tracking of speeds, right? And then you would come up and say, okay, this road, what happened to that?
We still have it. So again, I deal with the Traffic Safety Bureau. They've had a change in leadership. So the team that I worked with for a year and a half is no longer in that department. Besides Officer Lasco, which he is out right now, and they were kind of behind with everything that's going on. So when they had the change over, I don't really have the point of contact anymore in there, to be honest with you. that I had because we were working very well together. But unfortunately, the chief has removed everybody from that department that I dealt with.
Okay. Yeah, because,
I know.
I requested
I mean, I get 'em
Cobain,
once in a while.
It never happened. It
I
hasn't
know.
happened.
Because we were on a roll, we were doing great, and then
Yeah.
It's extra bureaucracy now.
there's
And now that biker gang keeps attacking me because I
Yeah.
promised them, we're going to track these speeds. But it's not
I'll
happening.
follow up on
That's
Cobain.
okay.
I'll follow up.
I understand. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's it.
Good evening. I'm Paul Revere. I live on West Commoner Boulevard. I got a little upset today when I read something from the the Lakewood Alerts. And it talked about us spending more money on lawyers for the Icorn land swap. And I was really shocked. I mean, why would we be doing that? Why would we be plowing taxpayer money into a land swap that just benefits basically Mr. Icorn? Okay, now what I'm thinking is you have a lot of money for your open space. So why don't we just forget about the land swap, condemn Mr. Icorn's property, and make that open space?
So, could I just give a piece of before the attorney part of it? Could I just respond? The land swap was started. I think Council President and Mr. Borelli were on the council at that point.
Yeah.
What happened was the residents of that neighborhood, of the Leesville neighborhood, came to the council
And
at that point
begged
and
us to
begged the
swap.
council
Begged.
to swap. It wasn't done for Mr. Icorn. It was actually done for the residents of that neighborhood who did
Residents
not
of
want
Leesville.
Mr. Icorn to develop that neighborhood.
Councilman Borelli and myself were here. They begged us and came to every meeting and asked us to do a
Well,
land
we
swap.
don't have to pursue it.
Well, we don't want a school there.
I just don't understand it. If you want open space, just condemn Icorn's property. Now, I know Icorn has a background here with Mr. Bernstein, and I heard Jennifer that used to work for him. I'm just worried about undue
I never worked for
influence.
him. I've never worked for anyone. I work for
Okay,
myself.
all right. Well, then
I'm a
that was
broker.
wrong. I'm glad
Thank
I
you.
Don't believe
brought that
everything
up.
Don't believe everything you read
I'm
on
glad I
Facebook.
brought that up and you can clarify it.
Good.
But
Anything you like.
I'm just worried about him having undue influence, and I don't see how Jackson Township is benefiting. I mean, if you wanted open space, no judge in the world is going to stop you from condemning Icorn's property for open space.
I'm going to let our attorney answer you.
Well, you
It's an
can
attorney
drop
question.
you can drop the idea at any moment. All right.
As was indicated, that purchase, that land swap was the result of the residents of the township asking the township to do that. The township listened to those residents, adopted the appropriate ordinances, and did a land swap to put the proposed development Mr. Icorn wants to do out of that area of the town where more residents lived. Where it's now was land that the township had that we had no use for, was going to be developed at some point, but it was not open space, that was not purchased.
Well,
as open
that's
space
my
money.
point.
But the
Is that
residents did not want that where he was proposing to develop it, whereas there's no objection to where he is proposing to do it now. That was
Well-
the genesis of the land swap.
Well, my background is I'm a firm believer in open space, and when you buy the development rights or buy property for open space, it's a big value increase for the town. It's like stock, companies buying back their stocks. Now, when I did live in Millstone, we bought Top Step Farm. That could have been a McMansion farm. But you go by it now, it's absolutely beautiful. And it's like that in perpetuity. We haven't been active in our open space. I haven't seen any acquisitions.
There's one on the agenda now.
Today. You came late to the
Today,
meeting.
right now.
Are you talking about paying $430,000 for a quarter acre?
Yes.
That's open space?
Yeah, well, it's to drainage. You're going to fix a neighborhood.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. You're saying
I mean, it's a property.
You're paying $430,000, and I don't mean to be.
No, that's
for-
fine.
for
But did you
10,000
hear the
square
backstory?
feet.
What that woman's been going through, what that homeowner's been going
For-
through from our drainage and our township? You want to talk about flooding and animals and preserving? We've had floods. She's had 3 feet of water going through her house because of our township roads drainage issues. And you're telling me that that's not doing a wrong or right? It absolutely is. And yes, it's going to be a park. It's not going to be a big 5-acre park, but it's a little bit. It's preserved land that's going to clean up that neighborhood, give that neighborhood a park, and clean up drainage.
Yeah,
I don't see a problem with that.
It seems like a lot of money, 430 for 10,000
That's-
square
It's the assessed
feet.
value.
That's
you know,
that's the assessed value.
430,000. All right, the next thing I got to talk, geez, is this 1,000 home affordable housing. And how does the town plan to accomplish 1,000 homes? There's several ways to do it. You can do it by having the builders build it, but that for every one home, affordable home, you got to build 9 or 10 homes. So, or you can have the builders pay for it through a cash contribution. Other towns are doing it organically. They're building it themselves.
We're going to answer your question, but your time is up. I'm going to let
All
the
right.
councilman answer your question.
Mr. McGuckin may want to butt in here. Years ago, you were able to sell your obligation to another town and eliminate it like that. That's been gone for many years now, correct, Mr. McGuckin?
I'm just going to go sit down.
Yeah.
My time's over.
That's
Doesn't want to
long gone, and that's been sold, and we cannot do that. And the obligation is not created by us, it's created by the state, and that's the obligation that we have to fulfill.
Good evening, Ryan Archer, resident of Jackson. It's been about a year since I've been here. I started an inquiry into the town's mishandling, potentially, of the litigation and follow-up consent order. I opened a line of questions to you guys. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to get back here in a year. I just want to let you know that I'm back. I will be asking questions over the next couple months, and I've extended my inquiry outside the limits of the Jackson Township. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a Gene here? Gene from Forest Drive? Okay.
Anyone else?
Director Candido?
Uh-oh. Raise your right hand.
Yeah, raise your
Raise your right
hand.
hand.
Right at your-
Good evening, council. It's with deep gratitude that I stand before you this evening. I prepare to step down from my role as Public Safety Director. Serving in this capacity has been one of the greatest honors of my career. Over the past year and a half, I've had the privilege of working alongside some of the most dedicated professionals in public safety, as well as numerous civilian and community organizations that make Jackson Township an outstanding place to live. Together, these individuals from a true team committed to ensuring our residents receive the highest level of service and protection. I would like to thank the mayor, administration, council, and most of all, the men and women of the Jackson Township Police Department for your unwavering support. That support has enabled the department to grow, adapt, and begin to meet the evolving demands of our community. To our township partners, all department heads, I am grateful for your collaboration and commitment. Your dedication to serving our residents is unmatched, and our ability to work as one team has been critical in delivering the services our community deserves. To the officers and civilian staff of the police department, thank you. Your professionalism, resilience, and commitment to our mission have been the foundation of everything we've accomplished. I am humbled by the trust you placed in me to help guide the department forward. Together, we have achieved significant progress, including filling vacant positions across all levels, sworn and civilian, acquiring new equipment, quads, radios, and vehicles while saving taxpayer dollars, implementing a modern weapon systems to replace the outdated equipment we had, establishing a clear organizational structure across all divisions, transitioning to more functional, cost-effective uniforms, fostering a stronger team environment to encourage communication and innovation through meetings, replacing expired protective vests to ensure officer safety. These accomplishments represent only part of the progress we have made. The work, however, is far from complete. Jackson Township is growing rapidly, and our police department must continue to evolve with it through staffing, equipment, and training. I sincerely hope the initiatives already underway will continue to receive strong support, ensuring that our officers have the tools and resources needed to serve effectively. I look forward to going back and being a lieutenant, honestly. I do so with a profound appreciation for the opportunity to serve both the residents of Jackson Township and the members of its police department. Thank you again for the honor of serving in this role. I am confident that the next director will continue the important work we have started, carrying forward our shared vision of progress and excellence. To the men and women of Jackson Township Police Department, thank you for allowing me the privilege of being part of your journey. May the path of growth and positive change continue with our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Candido.
Mr. Candido, Mr. Candido, I never really got a chance to officially thank you. I thank you that day. A while back, there was a protest at the Veterans Memorial Garden, which you know I'm part of. And the team you put together with the prosecutor, all our officers, how you protected that place for us, how you did it in such a peaceful way. And I really want to commend you on that publicly. Thank you.
It was a great undertaking, and the officers did a tremendous job that day.
You did. Thank you.
Council President, I just want to echo my thoughts for a second. I didn't know the director too much before, obviously, the position was created. I think I met you in the back over there one night. I've learned a lot from you. I hope that you will stay engaged. I think the most amazing thing that you really brought to the table was your communication skills. The fact that you came and you listened to almost every single council meeting since you've been appointed was unbelievable. I think more department heads honestly should be here because it's really a way of getting to know the pulse of what's going on in town. I know there are other departments who watch it online, but there's nothing like seeing you here in person, residents having a chance to touch base with you. I think you did an amazing job considering some of the restraints that you obviously had. And we look forward to continuing that relationship and hoping to hear continued great things from in your career as a lieutenant. And who knows where else you'll end up. So thank you.
Wait
Thank you.
1 second. Can't let you leave without me. So I know for a fact how hard you work and how much the men and women of the police department wanted you in that position. More you than the position, but they wanted you because they believed in you. They worked with you. They knew they had faith in you. They knew that you would lead them as a leader in a leadership role. And I think that that's what you brought to your department. We're going through a little hiccup right now. We're going to get through it. It should have, this hiccup should have been united 5 years ago. I'll keep my personal opinions. I did my opening speech to myself, but you created policies and procedures that the men and women, I remember seeing them. We all know I go to Mancha. And just being able to show their arms and their tattoos, just being able to have a beard and giving to charity for, I think it was November or October, the months that they did that.
Through March.
And then you extended it. But just knowing that they got that and they had somebody that they could do policies and procedures. You weren't day-to-day operations, so there was a lot of movement. And I know there's a lot of upset, men and women that are just being moved and in different departments, not knowing where they're going to be in the next day. I don't even think you know where you're going to start, and you start on Tuesday. That's a problem. And people might ask, why is council constantly having meetings with, the police? Because we care. We don't have control. It's not our, we're legislation, but we still care. And if we can create, things to help our Jackson Police Department and get you guys vests and get grants and get on calls and stuff like that. You've never missed a meeting, as he had said. You're always here. You always show up. You contribute, and the policies and procedures. I hope that does not get taken away, all the work that you put in for a year and a half in that police department, because that will not be leadership. That will be dictatorship, and that will be just trying to take a total morale away from your department. And I really, really, truly hope that doesn't happen. And I hope administration steps in if it does, because they don't deserve it. They got enough. What's going on with the accidents, the deaths, the shootings, everything that's going on in this town. The last thing that these men and women need to walk into is a department that they don't know where the hell they're going that day. It's wrong. I'm sorry. I don't mean to curse, but it's wrong. Thank you.
Thank you.
Director Candido, thank you for your service. Thank you for always making yourself available to the residents and to us. And I wish you, much continued success.
Thank you, sir.
And, thank you for your service and your continued service to our township. And stay safe out there.
Thank you,
All right?
sir.
You and your
Appreciate
guys and ladies, take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Seeing no one come forward? Lauren?
Anyone else?
Councilman?
Oh, there's a woman coming up.
Val Tudor, Right to Bow Road. I've been down here pushing for something to be done about the illegals in New Jersey. I brought to your attention how much they cost us, more than the spin that we get from most media. Yes, they do pay taxes, 1.3 billion, but we spend 7.3 billion on them, so we're 6 billion in the hole. Now, I did give you the information that I believe prompted you to do what Howell did already, and that was to declare us a non-sanctuary town, and I appreciated that. But basically, that's a financial thing, because Trump keeps saying that he's going to defund sanctuary towns and states. So by us doing that, I'm hoping that he reconsiders if he actually puts it into effect. But on that note, I gave you a paper last week. It was the Immigration Nationality Act, and he had the rules that Trump put forth that were passed on August 3rd. Did anybody get a chance to look at it, consider it?
I actually sent it. You're talking about the one from Howell?
We did that.
Yeah, we did that one.
She's talking about the other one.
No. Yes, it's with the attorneys, or they're reviewing it.
Okay. Well, to be honest with you, I didn't know what you were going to do. I'm not the type of person that just sits and waits for people to do everything for me. So what I did do, because my impression of that, and I'm not a lawyer, was that if you suspect somebody is illegal, you can point that out to ICE. And they verified that to me in several phone calls that I've made to them.
You mean point if they're illegal?
Excuse me?
Ma'am, do you mean illegal?
If you suspect that they are, yes.
Okay, not
If
legal.
I have no way to prove that. If you suspect, yes.
How would you suspect? I'm just curious.
Well, in there was certain criteria. Like I say, if you're having conversation with someone and they're looking away, being evasive, not giving you direct eye contact. Okay, you have ICE going into a lot of places. Okay, not everyone can prove that they're legal or not. But anyway, in that regard, what I did was I actually Googled, is anybody housing or employing illegals? And of course, no one came back and said, well, definitively. Except I did get this interesting article from Lakewood. And apparently in May, they had a fire there, and there was substandard housing, and it was a bad fire. And when they looked into who owned the property, it was Diversified Capital. And apparently Diversified Capital is known for taking underdeveloped properties or troubled properties and redoing them and making them better. They reached out to the gentleman that owns it, and apparently it went unanswered. But they also stated in the article that a lot of the realtor was warned that the investor would rent the home out to illegal immigrants. And it mentioned that Jackson also has this problem, okay? Jackson has a housing supply of about 20,000 homes. 4,500 of them are rentals, and the vast majority of those rentals are owned by Jewish investors. That means approximately 1 in 4 homes in Jackson are rentals, squeezing the housing supply. Specifically mentions Jackson 21, Pine Lake Park, and Candlewood Neighbors as investors.
That's Howell.
Excuse me?
That's Howell.
That's Howell. Candlewood is Howell, and Pine Lake Parks is Manchester.
Yeah.
All right, well, they say that's what they had in the article about
I
Jackson.
know, you shouldn't Google everything, because that information is 150% inaccurate.
Well, a lot like what Phil Stilton puts out, and
Okay.
apparently you pay
Thank you,
him
ma'am.
and you're okay with it. So my question to you is, are we renting to illegals and you people are aware of it?
You people, I'm sorry.
The town council.
Oh. No.
Well, you're in real estate.
I am.
And this gentleman here is the golden boy. So
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry?
Are you aware of it? I have to ask the question.
Excuse me?
Ma'am,
Excuse me?
I know, you're a little out of order the way you're speaking to us. If you have a question, I'd be more than happy to
I am
answer it.
asking you a question. Are you aware of anyone that's renting to illegal?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
Okay.
It's not my job to go and tell.
I
if
didn't say
somebody's
it was
scared-
your job.
If somebody's going scared and looking to the left, I'm not going to call ICE.
I never said it was your job. I asked you since you're in realty.
In real estate, yes, I'm a real estate broker. I do not do rentals. I don't do rentals, so I couldn't answer that. But we do
And-
have code enforcement that you could call and answer the questions to. That's your department that you want to reach out to, ma'am, is code enforcement
Or ICE.
or ICE.
The problem that I have is your law.
Well, your
rule,
problem is you're on
ordinance-
Google and your Google information is
ordinance-
inaccurate.
Your ordinance says that the public does not have the right to check into rentals. Anybody can look at my address and see that Val Tudor lives there, but I'm not allowed to check on rentals. That's what your ordinance says. It's not open for public.
Thank you, ma'am. We're over our time, but you're inaccurate in your
Yes, well, you're
statement.
Can I
always
just-
at a time when you don't want to answer
Council
questions.
President, can I
You
just
can
say-
look at anything.
can I-
You can go in
Council
SDL.
President, Mr.
Can I
Valero.
just reiterate one thing?
Absolutely, absolutely.
This is really important. In 55 days, again, we have an election, and Jack Chiarelli said on day one, he will pull New Jersey as being a sanctuary state. That is where we need to start, with the right election in 55 days.
Okay, but did you read in the small print about Jack Ciccarelli? He is very much supported by LLCs.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
So then you could vote for the opposition.
Yeah.
And you'll get
I'll
Murphy
be honest,
2.0.
I don't want to
Sanctuary state.
I don't want to
All
vote
right.
for either.
And that's why we get Democrats as governors.
Yep, thank you, ma'am.
Seeing, oh, we got Mr. Jones.
Good evening, Eric Jones, Tyson Road. Just got a couple things I want to ask. I didn't know if it was supposed to be asked to the CFO. But I was going through like the billing list. They change every month, the bills you guys pay, right? They change every month, the bills?
Yes.
Every meeting.
So I was going through the bills that you guys paid last month. Are we paying to cut grass with open space money?
That's a great question, and I've asked that. We have two companies. We have Open Space for a portion of it, and we have Cousins Landscaping, which they're going out to bid for a new contract. Their contract is up at the end of
But we
this
are
season.
paying with open space funds.
For open space, which
To maintain the open
to
space
maintain the
properties.
open space.
Not the
So
municipal properties.
I went through the whole open space, and yes, I sent it to the CFO, so but yes,
Okay, then.
not municipal property,
who's
because
the
that was
guys-
taken away.
Who's the guys cutting the grass around here?
This is not open space, that's Cousins. That's
But
the
we're
landscaping
still
company.
paying them to cut municipal grounds when we have a municipal department.
Because
That's a great question.
It's a great question. Yeah.
And that's something that
That's why we're,
we had a
Okay,
conversation when
okay,
Mr.
okay.
Belinsky was here about that.
yes. Great
Okay.
question.
Have you guys ever checked into the amount per square foot that you pay for open space?
What do you mean, the amount?
Well, because this house that you guys are buying, I
Oh,
know.
no,
I
we
know-
have not.
I know the ladies.
We do an appraisal.
Are we just avoiding a lawsuit?
I mean, it was right in my opening speech. She tried to, it's right
I'm
now.
just
I
saying,
can't,
if she
I
was-
can't talk about lawsuits,
Okay,
but it's been
okay.
denied because it's
So we're
an
buying this
act of
because she
God.
threatened us with a lawsuit.
No, that's not what I said. It was, she did it 3 years ago. She met Mr. Wall and they submitted it and it was denied because it was
Because
considered an act
I
of
don't know
God.
how all of a sudden, right now, we have a water problem.
It's the fourth time that it's happened to her house.
But
and
I'm
her house
saying
is
that place
flooded.
has been there forever.
I don't know how long she's lived there.
It's easy to fix water problems.
Thank you.
Okay, anyway, let's see, next thing, space. Going out to bid for township tree removal. How do you guys, does everybody go out for bid? I saw something on the other.
That's through our quality purchasing agent. She does all the bids. We have a
So
it's
for tree
administration.
removal, there was a bid process?
For a tree removed?
There's supposed to be an open bid if it's over a certain threshold.
Yeah.
All right, because I find it kind of coincidental that the guy that owns Trailhawk Tree got the bid, but is on the Shade Tree Commission.
Listen, Oprah, send an email. Send an email. We'd love to receive that email.
Okay, and also the last thing, when I walked in here, there was one officer here. Now there's three. Why?
Because Director Candido, it's his last day, so they're coming to support him.
Okay. And
Thank
then
you.
And the last question is, because last time you spoke about code enforcement, you beat up on them for having cars idling. Right now, there's 3 cars idling, and one has been idling since we started this meeting
That's in case they get called to a 911 call.
as a starter. That's
Thank
ridiculous.
you.
That's ridiculous.
Director Candido?
That's ridiculous.
All right,
Okay.
thank you. Seeing no one come forward. Oh, we don't want-
Seeing no one else come forward, I make a motion to close public comment.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Have a
May
good
I have a
night.
motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.